What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be working on the GS. We're going to be refreshing basically the front suspension. We have a bunch of parts in the front that are worn out, old, on the bushings, the tie rod, stuff like that. So we're going to just do a full refresh on the front suspension to make sure everything is good. Let's jump right into the video. So we got the car here jacked up, and I just want to show you guys what I'm talking about. So this is the front wheel, and you can see the amount of play I'm getting. That's mainly from the tie rod, the inner tie rod. But as I said, I'm gonna do a full refresh on the suspension. So I'm gonna go ahead and start to get everything off, and I'll show you guys what we're working with. So we got all the parts off for one side, and it's not looking good. So we got the TN coilovers, street advance. Bushings in the coilovers are gone. I'm gonna have to source new ones for those. Trailing arm bushings there are gone also. Got new one coming. I got a kit coming for new bushings there, new bushings here for the lower control arm, new bushings for the upper control arm, new ball joint. This one is dead. Tie rod, not so bad. The outer tie rod. Inner tie rod, non-existent. That one is dead. Lower ball joint, that's not too bad, but we got new ones coming anyway. SwayBar link, totally dead. Got new ones coming for that too. So yeah, wheel bearing is good. So this is one side. We're gonna go ahead and tackle the other side. But yeah, a lot of the bushings here, a lot of the bushings and ball joints and stuff are totally gone, which I expected. I inspected it, and the way the car was driving, I could have tell. So like I said, I got new bushings coming for most of these aftermarket bushings, which are stiffer. Gonna make it a little bit more rigid. Gonna have to source the bushings for these. I could use aftermarket ones, or I could try to find the TN ones. Those are hard to find. I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do for that. But yeah, let's go ahead and get the other side done, and then I'll jump back in. Alright, so we got the other side off. Upper control arms, ball joint, tie rod, inner, outer, SwayBar link, everything like that. And everything is just as bad as the other side. We also got the lower control arms off and the trailing arms. On these trailing arms, you guys should know there are two different sizes. There's a 60mm and a 65. With my luck, I have both sizes. I ordered the bushings for 60mm, but I guess the previous owner changed the arms before, and he put a bigger one. So this is 60, this is 65. I'm gonna have to find a 60 for the left side, because the bushings I ordered are 60. And let's talk about bushings, because we have all the new parts here already. So we have StrongFlex bushings. As you can see, they're yellow. So we got bushings for the trailing arms, bushings for the lower control arm, bushings for the upper control arm. Even though these upper control arms are brand new, I'm gonna swap the bushings out. We also have bushings for the SwayBar link, or for the SwayBar itself, and then we have new SwayBar link bushings. So we have new parts here. These are from Fig's Engineering. These are Mevotech brand. They're sold by Figs. So we have new outer, new inner, new lower ball joint, new SwayBar links, new upper control arm. Upper control arm, if you guys are into GS, you already know the upper ball joint is made into the control arm, so you can't buy the ball joint separate. So even though I was going to swap the bushing, I had to buy the whole control arm, and I'm going to swap the bushings out. But yeah, so we got all the new parts here. So next step is going to be pressing out these old bushings to put the new ones in, and all of these. This one, and then this one I'm gonna have to source again. I'm not gonna have to source a left bushing for 60 millimeter because this one is a little bit bigger. This is 65. You should be able to can see the size difference just by looking at it. So yeah, so that's how we're looking right now. I also did take the coilovers off and take them apart. I'm just gonna clean them up, clean the spring up, clean everything up, do a full refresh. Have the brakes and rotors over there, the whole spindle right there. So yeah, complete refresh. So let's go ahead and press these bushings out so we could go ahead and get the new ones in. I'm gonna have to use a torch, heat it up. You guys know the deal. And that's how you get it out. Find a socket that fits. This one is a 1 1/4. This one fits in the lower control arm perfect. And that's how I was able to knock both of them out clean. So a little bit of heat and a little bit of heat and a little bit of manpower, and you'll be able to knock out the bushings clean, clean, clean. So both lower control arms are out. I'm gonna move on to the upper control arm. So I got the parts cleaned up. Also hit them with a little bit of spray. You know, can't put them back in dirty, so everything looks good. I already got one bushing in. Gonna go ahead and do the rest. I also lubed up inside of the holes. The StrongFlex comes with the grease, so I lubed up all the sleeves. They got lube, and I lubed up inside. That's gonna help. I have the bushings sitting in the freezer. That allowed them to shrink a little bit. This was from yesterday. They've been in there for a little over 24 hours, so they should go right in without much force. Also have a mallet, rubber mallet, to assist in putting them in, so it shouldn't be too crazy. So let's go ahead and grab bushings for this out the freezer. Okay, so we need these ones. We got these. Alright, so we got the bushing here out the freezer. We got the lower control arm here. See, with the lube and with being in the freezer, went in pretty easy. Didn't take much force. Flip it over. Just like that. Pretty easy. So we got the sleeve for this one. We're gonna put the sleeve in. The sleeve takes a little bit more force, so we're gonna use the mallet. And just like that. Perfect. You can see the grease there. Whatever extra grease was there just got pushed out. So yeah, good to go. Okay, so I got the upper control arm done. Man, these things are not nearly as easy to go in as the lower control arms. These ones are a little pain in the ass because they are bigger. I mean, they fit but the outer ends are bigger and they're hard. So pause. So it's hard to go in. I had to get a press and use a press. So I got one done. I'm gonna show you guys what I had to do to get the other side done. Cause yeah, they're super hard to get in there. So basically, this is what you're gonna want to do. Make sure you lube inside of here, and also lube the bushing. Also, I had bushing in the freezer still, so they should be good. And I have lube in here, and basically just place it in the vise and just rotate it until it starts. See right there, it just went in, and then once it enters, you'll be able to, let me get it out the vise. You'll be able to just knock it in with a hammer the rest of the way. Alright, so I have it in the vise like that, and just with a hammer you'll be able to just knock it in. It doesn't take a lot of force. Knock it once you get it past that. So you knock it in, the other side comes out, and then we're going to put the sleeve right there inside of there. So the sleeve is lubed also. Sleeve has grease on there. So you're going to put the sleeve in, and then same thing with the hammer. You're just going to knock it in with the hammer. So like that, I had to use the hammer to get it started. We just basically knock it in. Not a lot of force to get it in. Just leave it in, and that's it. I'm gonna do the other side and get it done. Alright, so I got the bushings in for the struts, the TN struts. These I had to scour the internet on for a little while to find the right size. The ones for TN, I found the part numbers. I got the part numbers from online, but they weren't available anywhere. I was been told 6 to 8 weeks to get those. So I had to measure the ones I took out, the old ones, and try to find something online. I found these. These are made by Phoebus. That's the part number. I'll drop the part number in the description. I got these from eBay. They are made for shock absorber. They're Honda specific, I guess, based on their measurement. But they work perfect for the GS. See, the size works good for the shock, and then it fits. It's gonna fit in here perfectly once I press it in. So here we go. Got all the bushings swapped over. Also hit the arms with a little bit of paint. Just so they look good going under there. Got the lower control arms, bushings are in. Upper control arms, bushings are in. Brand new arms, so brand new ball joint. Got the radius arm, bushing is in. Still need to find another radius arm that's 60 millimeter, so I could drop this bushing in. One thing I do want to address, I got the bushings for the TN shocks in. These bushings, like I said, I found online. I measured the ones that came out, and I had to find these. They work. They're in there. They're not exact 100%. You can see in there, it doesn't come all the way to the end right here. So it's at the end, but inside here, it's probably got maybe 3 millimeter. 3 to 4 maybe 3 to 4 millimeter of length. The inner part, the inner bushing itself, the length of this is exactly what you need, because that fits within the shock tower. But the bushing that sits, the way it sits inside of the let me remove this bolt. Here we go. So the way it sits inside, it doesn't go all the way to the end, which again, I don't believe that's gonna cause any issues. It's probably like 3 millimeter. One other thing, I had to get new bolts for this, because the inner sleeve of this is a little bit smaller. This is the factory one that came out of it. Well, not factory, but this is the one that came out of the TN coilovers. Inside here is 14 millimeter, so you use a little bit bigger bolt. it could take actually the bolts are 13 millimeter, so inside of here are 13 millimeter. It could take 13 millimeter bolts. This one is 12 millimeter, so I had to get a little bit smaller bolt. You can see it's a little bit smaller. Structurally, it's not going to cause any issues. 1 millimeter is not going to be significant enough to cause any issues, so I had to get new bolts. So just be aware, if you use these bushings, you can't use the factory bolt because it's too big to go inside of the center. So I had to get a new bolt, and that's basically it. Clean up the coilovers, lube the coils so everything is easy to spin, and like I said, put some paint on everything. Gonna go ahead and start throwing these on the car now. Alright, so we got all the suspension parts installed. Trailing arm, I got the correct size for this side. Trailing arm, lower control arm with the bushing, inner outer tie rod, upper control arm with the bushing, SwayBar links, SwayBar bushing. Coilover is back in and mounted. So yeah, got everything installed suspension wise on both sides. I also did want to mention this, it came with a hole, so, and it has the grease fitting. Make sure you guys install the grease fitting and grease the joint before you install it. It had very little grease in there, so I just wanted to touch on that. If it has a grease fitting, make sure you install the fitting and grease it. That's going to help with the longevity of the part. But we got everything installed. Let's go ahead and look at the other side also. Alright, so this is the other side. Same thing, got everything installed and looking good. So yeah, unfortunately I won't be able to give you guys a review right now on how everything feels, because I'm doing some more stuff on the car, messing with the brakes. That's gonna be a next video coming up. But redid the caliper color, got some new rotors, gonna install stainless steel brake lines, and I'm also deleting the electric booster. I'm gonna do a whole video on that. So as I say, for that's going to be on the next video. As far as this video for the suspension, that's going to be it for this video, guys. I'm going to cut this video short right now. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Welcome to all the new subscribers. If you made it this far in the video, welcome, and thank you for watching, guys. Have a good one. See you on the next video.